Pledge of Allegiance. All stand by.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First off, we got the approval of minutes of November 29th.
Second.
So moved by Commissioner Nelson, seconded by Commissioner Gaffney. All those in favor say aye. Aye. 400. So next we have public participation. Anyone? I mean, we do have a little crowd here tonight, which is very exciting. So no public participation. Under new business, I would like to see, is anyone object to go out of order to, so we can recognize Commissioner Sullivan?
No.
Anyone?
No.
All right, so I would say we go forward, Brendan, with recognizing Commissioner Sullivan.
Sure. Yes. So thank you. For those of you who don't know, and I don't know who wouldn't know, Kevin Sullivan, Commissioner Sullivan, served on as a Recreation Commissioner for 23 years, and recently chose not to run for re-election, and trying to get everything together. It's been a few months, and the summers get really busy, but here we are in December, and we'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Kevin for his many years of service, thank his family for sharing him with us for all these years, and we have a little something for you as well. And as the chair, I'm going to hand this back over to the chair, who has a few words to say as well.
So I just got a statement I would like to read for Kevin and his family. First off, I'd like to start by thanking Kevin Sullivan for his 23 years of service as a Recreation Commissioner to the town of Burlington. Kevin was first elected in 2000 and served on the commission until last April, when he chose not to run for re-election. Upon completing his last term, he was the second longest serving commissioner and often served as the chair. He was a valuable member of the commission from the beginning. His background as a business owner and his willingness to get involved and help it made him an excellent candidate to be a Recreation Commissioner. The position of Commissioner is not glamorous or high-paying, but it does provide a sense of satisfaction. Kevin gave selflessly of himself and was there to support the Recreation Department at the town and department events. I would like to thank his family for sharing Kevin with us in the town. Throughout his time on the commission, he worked closely with the directors to make sure things were running smoothly and to offer assistance where needed. He was and still is the sponsor of the tree lighting fireworks on the town common. Was involved in equal and capital planning. The town's master planning committee took the lead in the creation of the dog park and supported the growth of the department through new positions that were installed. I would like to offer a heartfelt thank you to Kevin for his outstanding leadership in enhancing our community's leisure activities. Your innovative ideas and unwavering commitment have brought joy and a sense of togetherness to our residents. We are grateful for your hard work and vision in making your town a vibrant and lively place to live. Thank you, Kevin. With that said, on a personal note, Kevin, you're the reason why I'm sitting here. Many years ago, you called me up and said, I think you should be a Recreation Commissioner. I'm like, what? Nah, I don't know, but I'm glad you did, and I thank you for that, and I thank you for everything that you did for this town. Anyone else have anything?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to agree with the chairman and appreciate Kevin's years of service. You know, committing yourself to that number of years into a commission like this, it really takes quite a bit of dedication, and I know throughout your life, your dedication to the town as well. So, Kevin, thank you very much.
My turn.
Commissioner Nelson.
David, what you said was wonderfully stated. I don't think I could even top anything that you said. You said it all very, very eloquently and beautifully. I want to thank Kevin personally for his service. I know what it's like to serve a long time on a committee, and it does take a lot of dedication. You give up a lot of your free time. Your family gives up time with their dad and time with their husband, and it becomes a passion usually for people who serve a long time on a committee or a commission, and I know for you it was a passion. That's the way you carried yourself as the chairman and as a commissioner. You could see the passion every time, and I only served with you for a short period of time, but you could see the passion every time you came up here and every time you attended an event. So you did a wonderful job, and commission misses you, but I hope you're enjoying yourself now, a little more free time maybe, and we're very glad that you came here tonight to accept this honor. Thank you.
So Kevin, I want to thank you for your time here. You're quite literally the reason why I'm sitting here. So thank you. But no, thank you so much for the time you've put into the commission and everything you do for the town. Obviously, you are a valuable member of the town, everything you contribute to us. So thank you so much.
Brendan, you have some remarks?
I would just like to, on behalf of the Recreation Commission, Kevin, we have a chair with a town seal and your name on it. In recognition for your 23 years of service to the town of Burlington, its residents, and more specifically the Parks and Recreation Department, we appreciate everything you did for us, and it's just a small way we can thank you. You can sit back in the chair and ponder your future and all that you did with your time on the Recreation Commission, and just ask that if you ever call me, make sure you call me from the chair. All right? No, but thank you very much, and we'd like to get some pictures. I'm sure you have something you'd like to say.
No, just to thank everyone. You know, it's, I thought it was the longest serving one. Mark Sherwood had me done. So it was just a pleasure. The fellow commissioners present and past, you know, they were great friends. I really enjoyed working with them. All the staff, current and past. Ron Roberts is here. Just wonderful people, and everyone was really concerned about what was best for Burlington and in making the lives of Burlington, the residents, just a better place to live. And I always get excited whenever people talked about Burlington. They always brought up recreation as one of the best things, and I got to be a little part of it, and it was awesome. And I just want to thank everyone. And you know, I know there's hardly anyone watching other than when my mother used to watch on TV. But you know, thank the residents for letting me run these many years, town meeting, all the staff in the town, because we interacted with everyone in the town, and it was a great experience, and I'm thankful for it, and just hope that you have the same success we had in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So, some pictures?
Yes.
Quick picture?
I just want to, I want to mention one other thing. I didn't mention it earlier, and I'm probably going to be upset that I mentioned it. Something's going to come of it, but you were also very instrumental with the pickleball as well. I didn't want to say the P word tonight, but no, we did. You know, that was a great example, right, of trying to work with everybody, and something you did very well. So we've been pickleball free here for a few meetings, so thank you for your efforts there as well. So if we could get a picture.
Does the children or Dawn want to come up and say anything? Go ahead, Dawn, come on up.
Kevin, is the light on there?
Oh,
Yes, please.
Yeah.
There's a seat right there.
Don, say good things.
I get to sit next to.
For the board, you have to mention your name and what precinct you're from.
I'm Don Roberts. I was Recreation Director for Burlington for 37 years. Many of those years were when Kevin was on the commission. And Kevin always did what he thought was best for the town. and, what was best for the Recreation Department. And he supported, the Recreation Department, of course, but he also supported me, as the director of the department. And, I really appreciated having somebody of integrity, and, somebody who really cared for the Recreation Department, cared for the town. So it was much easier for me to work with somebody who was committed, to our department, as a commissioner, and oftentimes chairman of the Recreation Commission. I have a little story to tell you. As you know, Kevin has quite a sense of humor, and he also is very generous. So if you put those two things together, you come up with a little story. After I had retired, and I was retired for 4 years, I got a phone call from Kevin, and he was chairman of the Recreation Commission at the time. So he said, "Don, would you come back?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, the director who took your place when you retired, he resigned and left abruptly. We need somebody to oversee the department until we can hire a new director." And I said, "Kevin, I don't know. I've been out for 4 years. I'm kind of out of the loop. I don't know if it would be, a good idea for me to come back, after 4 years." He said, "Just think about it. Think about it. And we'll talk, later, but, think about it." So that's how we left it. The next day, I got a phone call from Kevin, and he said, "Please." That's all he said. So I said, "Well, my wife, Marty, and I are going on a trip to the Finger Lakes region of New York for the next few days." And he said, "Well, that'll give you time to think about it. And, maybe you can talk about it with Marty, and you can let us know when you get back." So I thought, well, maybe that's a good idea. It's a 7-hour drive, up to the Finger Lakes. So Marty and I discussed it on our way up. And when we arrived, Kevin had asked me where we're staying. And I thought, well, why does he want to know where I'm staying? And I think he kind of covered it up by saying, my wife and I might like to go up that way someday, and we'd like to know where you're staying, maybe that's someplace we'd like to stay. So I told him we were staying in a B&B, and they had a vineyard at the B&B and so forth, and they produced their own wine. So when we arrived at our B&B, we opened the door, and there are 2 bottles of wine on the table in the room. Now, we thought the owners of the B&B had provided, a welcoming gift. Well, we mentioned it to the owner, and he said no. He said that wine is from a Kevin Sullivan from Burlington, Massachusetts. And, of course, we knew that this was Kevin's way of saying, "Please." So, just to let you know that that wasn't a bribe, I had called Kevin on the way up. Marty and I had talked in the car, and I decided that I would do it. And so I had called Kevin, and I accepted the position before I got the bottles of wine. So that was not a bribe. But Marty and I have joked about it ever since, that, Kevin's sense of humor, it was kind of a fun thing to do, and we really got a kick out of it. Made our trip a little bit more fun. So thank you, Kevin, for the 2 bottles of wine. I owe you a drink. But I wanted to thank Kevin for the time that he spent as a commissioner not just during my time, but after that as well. You probably know that Burlington is respected as one of the best recreation departments in New England. Other recreation departments really look to Burlington as a leader. We have great staff. The townspeople support the recreation department, and we have commissioners like Kevin to make sure that things, go well and we make progress. So, again, Kevin, thank you very much for all you've done. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Nice chair.
The kids want to say anything? I'm sorry. I didn't-
No, I'll say a quick something. Yeah, there you go.
Come on up. I'm sorry.
You want to stand up front? You want us to be in front of the desk?
Kyle's just gonna say.
Yeah, just Kyle's done.
Briefly, I'm Kyle Sullivan, I'm Kevin's son. Just want to say that, Burlington's a community that my dad was born and raised in, myself and my sisters were born and raised in, and, I'm now going to raise my family here, and it's a town and a community that my dad takes an extreme amount of pride in. And having to be able to, go around the town and see all the impact that not only him, but the recreation commissions have been able to bestow upon the community between, lights at Simon's Park, the dog park, and all the other activities that go on in the town. It's, amazing to see, and it's something that pride has been passed down to our family. So I'm here representing our family as a way of saying thank you, and thank you to the rest of the Recreation Commission for all that you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Julie, all right.
This meeting's gonna go way over. Come on.
Who's taking the vote?
Very well spoken. For a guy that doesn't like to speak, that was impressive. Oh, I want to be in front of the camera.
Do you guys want to get into that?
Keep on Robertson.
We'll do the family first, then we'll get John.
Maybe
Is that
kids.
okay?
Sure. Where's Caroline?
We'll Photoshop her in. Perfect.
It is, isn't it? You want to carry it up on her? You can transport it to the vehicle. I like it, okay. Just you. There we go.
To start. Is everybody I want to get in with?
Oh, no, that's great.
Everybody?
No, get back to
Okay.
me. That's
You
great.
sure? Are you sure? You used to make me get everybody when you were the chair. Everybody had to get in.
That's when it was somebody else.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So it doesn't scuff in here.
Kevin, congratulations.
Good job on getting that extra pickleball.
Keep on working.
I read that and I said, let's go.
I wasn't.
Good to see you.
The wine was wonderful. I did the wine. She did the red.
Yes. Yep.
My bottle was red because he did not.
This is wonderful. I love it. This was very special.
That's cool.
Isn't it neat?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Very nice.
He's a child.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
All right. Thank you very much.
Nice to see
Kelly, thank
everybody.
you.
So the one, I'm call before I'm going somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, you'll make up this fun. That was fun. Yeah. That's good.
You want me to drop it off, Kev?
Oh, no, I left it in my car.
We can take it back and bring it.
No, you might scratch it. This is
I
awesome.
left the booties on it so it
Put it
doesn't
in that
scratch.
rusty pickup truck.
Hey, thank you.
Put it in the place.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Put it in the van?
I know. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you as well. Yeah, nice to meet you.
I worked with your dad for a long, long time.
Yeah.
The first time, I came in 1974.
Okay.
Well, that was good.
Sometime after that.
That was good.
Back to the real world.
Yep, back to the real world, okay.
Sign off.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I got it
You
right.
got minutes, so you want?
He has a copy of it.
I got the copy here.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you. Yep.
That was nice. We wish Kevin well. So Brendan, Director of Parks and Recreation report?
Yes, thank you very much. Just a couple quick updates. We received, on the program coordinator position, we received 40 applications for the open program coordinator position. We have narrowed it down to 7 candidates, and we're working with HR with the interviews. We're hoping to get them all completed, the first round at least, next week, and hopefully have a candidate for our meeting in January, so we can get, get someone on board and start working towards our spring brochure, our summer planning discussions are already underway, so, getting someone in and acclimated is important, so that is moving forward. Simon?
If I may, just, I remember Mr. Sullivan actually mentioned that it was typical that maybe one or more commissioner be involved in the interview process in the past. Is that still the practice?
So I think that this level position, it's usually like more the division heads, the managers. So we felt comfortable with staff and HR being involved.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Continue, Brendan.
Sure. Thank you. Our, up at Simons Park, the disc golf course, first tee pad has been completed. If you haven't seen it yet, it's right along the driveway. It's actually the first tee pad they completed, but the new second hole. And they are working on the first tee pad, which is going to be up along Cambridge Street, towards the bus stop that is there, or towards the orange construction sign that's located in the park. So they started on that, I think, this week. So 2 down, 7 more to go, and hopefully, the weather, knock on wood, has been cooperating. We haven't gotten a hard freeze yet, so we're still good there. Baskets have been ordered. I'm hoping they're in hopefully before the Christmas holiday, but definitely by the end of the year. And we'll continue moving forward on those. Just an update on our culture, department culture assessment. The in-person meetings and anonymous survey have been completed, and Barbara Heller and her team have been busy compiling all of the information and developing some recommendations on how we can move forward together. And she will be holding a workshop on December 20th where our staff will not only get to hear the recommendations, but develop recommendations as a team based on the feedback. And her presentation will include information on how to develop a healthy culture, define attributes of creating a great place to work, and the importance of both of these factors for our department. We are thankful for the cooperation and participation of our entire staff throughout this process, and we look forward to the recommendations Barbara has and the staff come up with and putting them into action going forward. So we're thankful for, again, want to reiterate, we're thankful for the participation of our staff and their willingness to work on the culture in the department and make sure it's where it should be, and that everyone feels a part of the team, and that we're a good place to go to work every day. So. I'm not sure if you have heard, but the Burlington Buzz and the town of Burlington will be hosting a first-ever Civic Expo on Wednesday, January 17th, from 5 to 7 in the Murray Kelly Room at the Human Service Building, so our building. This event will showcase the various departments and in Burlington and the boards and commissions that oversee them, and other town groups as well. And Select Board member Nick Priest is working on this and would like to have full participation from the town departments, boards, and commissions. So we will be hosting a table. Like to see if a commissioner or two would like to be there for a couple hours, and we'll work on having display at the table information to pass out. But I think it gives residents who might not know how to go about getting involved and have questions on that, to give them an opportunity to ask a couple commissioners. We can give them an idea, but we don't run the races and go to the forums and speak on that. So and then if we have a couple commissioners that can speak to that and their roles and what they do, that would be great. You don't have to tell me tonight, but if you want to, I'll send out a reminder email, but if you want to do that, that would be great. We'd love to have participation in that.
Yeah, I know I'll be able to make it, and anyone else, obviously.
Yeah, I put it in my diary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if
anyone else
show
wants
up,
to,
I'm sure you'll be there.
just let us
for
know.
both Planning board. And, that's good, thank you.
Okay.
Anyone have questions for Brendan on anything?
Just a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Okay.
Mr. Gaffney was kind enough to send me a photograph of the first tee box that was completed, and they really looked good.
It did, it really,
Well
really
made,
nice.
they're going to
Yeah.
drain well, and
Yep.
really smart looking. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get the other ones in before
Yeah, if,
the next year.
if not, hopefully early spring, as it starts to thaw, but we can't get out on fields yet, that might be a good project. They are, some of them are, the rest of them will be located throughout the pine forest at Simon, so as long as the areas drain well, they're close enough to the road that, we can access them,
Yeah.
some of them, and hopefully they drained off and we can get to work. As long as the frost kind of has thawed in the early spring, we should be good to put a couple more in. I think once you get one down too, right, it becomes,
Compliments to the staff for
Thank you.
for the job they did.
thank you.
And thanks, Bill, for the
Yeah, my pleasure, yeah.
We playing that thing?
We've passed by them as they've evolved, so, yeah, it's a great job. I mean, the course gets a lot of use now, and I can tell you that with the new pads, the word's already out,
Oh,
and
good.
they're gonna get more use, and it's great. It's a great asset to Simon's to kind of utilize multiple parts of the
Yeah,
park.
I agree.
Does that make, I've never played, does it make you throw, those pads make you a better-
Absolutely.
being able to throw better and more
Absolutely.
accurate?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So what we're doing now is we're avoiding ruts, or we're avoiding roots off the tee boxes, and, this, I would say, is best in class. I've played, and again, I'm just a very informal player, but when I go out and go on vacations and stuff, we'll pick up a course. So, New Hampshire, Vermont, and North Carolina, Florida, I've played around a bit in the East Coast, and kind of those pavers are best in class, I think, and I think we're going to get there, so,
Excellent.
yep.
We are. The wheels of municipal government work slowly.
We're getting there, we're getting there.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just on the culture change, is there any way that we could take a look at the results of that when they come out? I've been through a couple of those, and always interested to see, how the department looks. I know I've seen it before. Is it possible to get a copy of that? Thank you.
Yep, we'll get that to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I did have one other item quickly that I added after I sent the report. Just give a quick update on maintenance and just what they've been up to. Our staff has been busy with getting in some last-minute fall cleanups and installing benches on the common, bike racks at the library, they're working on those, and then finishing up our spring fertilization and overseeding of a couple spots now that they're off the athletic fields. We can get out and finish those up. And then during Monday's storm, that Sunday to Monday rainstorm, we did have some water leak into the new facility, into the break room. It was an area that had leaked at the beginning, and they had fixed it. So the facilities department was out again, just checking on that. And it just could be the hard driving rain. Somewhere it's coming in and it's finding its way down, but they did have some water in. Park Superintendent Baker let me know that Monday morning, first thing. So I think we'll know if whatever they did this time to fix it works the next time we have a rain. So just, that's it.
Commissioner Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have a warranty on that? The company?
There is. I think that the contractor has been the one,
Okay.
Facilities contacted the contractor and they've been coming out, and I think they found an area where water was getting in and just happens to find its way to that spot, right? And they hadn't had any problems since maybe the end of last winter, beginning of the spring. So.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Kelly, your report, Assistant Director.
Thank you. Mine is relatively short. For the first time since I started working here, we had to postpone our tree lighting event from the Sunday to the Tuesday. It brought on a number of different thoughts as far as how we construct the event, what we need to do to prepare for an event on a weeknight versus a weekend. The traffic implications, the parking implications are drastically different. So we spent most of Monday teasing out and contacting everybody we needed to contact, all the players for the event itself, but then also additionally working with the police department on a more strict basis as far as like how we're going to manipulate a weeknight, which was interesting because we, like I said, had never done that. There really is only that one scenario where it doesn't work, and that's rain, and that just hasn't happened. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in that. As far as the rescheduling is concerned and the event itself, everybody was really flexible. Initially, we thought we weren't going to have any inflatables. The inflatable company was saying they weren't going to be able to get things, but then we kind of chatted with them, and they were able to pull some stuff off for us. Very last minute. So we're grateful for everybody's flexibility there. We were thinking it was probably going to be under attended, but I don't think that happened. I think we had about the same amount of people we typically have, which is great for an evening, especially at a 4 o'clock start. So we were excited about the number of people who came out. We had some great performances from a local school, and Shailene Gainley came. Santa was brought in on Al Bay's fire truck once again. That is always a fan favorite. And fireworks went off on or about 5 o'clock, say approximately for a reason. So I think everybody that went there had a great time. One of the things that I thought was interesting was the Weston and Sampson tent and the feedback we got on the conceptual plans. We met with them on Monday,
the 18th.
Yep.
Or, I'm sorry,
The 11th.
11th, yeah.
And they were pleasantly surprised at the tremendous amount of feedback that they had received that night. They had great dialogue with people. People were giving great suggestions. So they've gathered that information. Since then, we put out a survey as we discussed. At this point, we have about 175 responses there as well that they're taking into consideration on top of that. So they have access to all of that. And in the coming weeks, we're going to work on an updated conceptual plan, starting with Overlook, based on the timeline for the grant. So the conceptual plan online survey will close on Friday the 15th. So this Friday it will close. There will be an opportunity for feedback on the plan as a whole, including those conceptual designs as the the survey progresses, but because of the deadline for the grant, we do need to close this portion of it for now, and then we'll reopen again. And when we reopen the grant, when we reopen the survey on the master plan as a whole, we will utilize tools such as Jeremy was suggesting as far as the thought exchange was concerned. Burlington Buzz has reached out. They have a survey that they can put online. Our informal survey seems to be getting great responses, so we're going to look at that as well. And we'll really kind of get the survey for the entire master plan out there and put a lot of effort behind getting feedback for the plan as a whole.
Great.
Just a quick comment by myself. I was at the event. It was a great event, as usual. Since I've been commissioner, I've been fortunate to make every one, and like the Tuesday, it looked just like it was Sunday.
It did.
No difference. Crowd was I thought traffic was going to be a major issue, but I think the police did a good job. I think everyone, fireworks were awesome. I'd like to thank the Sullivan family again for that. And I was quite taken back how the conceptual plan was. The tent was. People just really took to that. And I was standing behind it. I was like, wow, this is. Sometimes in those type of situations, people just sort of get lost in the mix and want to just go out and have fun, but people were really engaged in it, so looking forward to what people have to say about that. But excellent job on that event. Any other questions for Kelly?
No. Happy to hear all the feedback.
Yeah.
Good news. Yeah.
So, the timeline, I'm just going to reiterate what Kelly said. The timeline where we're required to gather information and get it in for the grant is tight. So that's why having, in part of the grant process is having community input, and that was an event that we could capture. And I, too, was surprised at the number of people that turned out, again, for the postponed date, but then that also contributed. And I was in a meeting on Friday afternoon, and someone said, oh, I was there, and I live up in the neighborhood. It was awesome, and they gave some further input that, told me some stuff that they had added, and, that came up in the conversation when we met with Weston and Sampson on Monday to review. And then at that point, we already had 112 people have responded just from Friday night or Friday afternoon when the survey went out. So we're getting quality feedback, and as Kelly mentioned, it'll open back up as we get further, but we do need to have a stop period to get that information compiled and then ready to be submitted in the grant. And Kelly's been doing a great job on the grant, and she said, at a point, I think you're at the mercy of some other people getting back to you. So we're hoping we're successful. So thank you.
Question,
Commissioner
Mr.
Nelson.
Chair. What's the amount of the grant, Brent?
It's up to $1 million,
Well,
matching
it's
$1 million.
It's a $2 million project. They would match up to $1 million
Okay.
if possible.
All right.
It's all going to depend on the conceptual plans and where they fall and the price tag.
And what's the
essentially.
deadline for the grant application submission?
January 11th.
January?
11th.
Okay. Does it have to be complete at that point? Everything has to be in?
Everything.
Okay.
Kelly's been working hard on it.
Short time frame.
Yeah.
Kelly's been
Tight.
working hard.
Yeah.
It's tight, but we'll make it work.
We have the faith. Thank you, Kelly. So Chairman's report, I really have nothing. I would just like to wish everyone a happy holiday season, and everyone stay safe, and hope everyone has a great new year also. That's just quick before we check out. But anyone else have anything in the subcommittee reports?
I don't have anything.
Lindsay?
So the Sculpture Park Committee met yesterday. I mentioned some concerns we have about the timing of the pig fundraiser that they're doing, and I think we should just reach out and just have a quick conversation with with some other members of the Sculpture Park Committee just to talk about timing, placement of these pigs, and everything else. So I think there's just some logistics we need to work out before the fundraiser is launched.
Okay.
I also mentioned the initiative that you all are doing with the Burlington Economic Development with the murals.
Yes.
So mentioned, because they obviously were trying to do an initiative and said we should really merge forces here on some of the murals that we were thinking about doing for the electrical boxes and other areas, such as Overlook Park, et cetera. So I'm just gonna connect all of us in an email and set up some time for all of us to meet up and just talk about that.
That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Commissioner Gaffney?
All set, thank you.
New business, fiscal year 25 capital discussion. Brendan?
Thank you. I apologize that it didn't get attached the first time, but I just wanted to start the discussion on these items, and if anyone had any questions, we're in the process of getting updated backup. Some of these items were put off from prior years, and obviously we have to get the most up-to-date backup. But this year, we are looking to replace the playground equipment in the playground itself at Wildmere Playground. Purchase a skid steer. Many people know it as a Bobcat, but skid steer is the type of equipment. Bobcat is one of the brands. Purchase a tow-behind leaf vac. Currently, we have a leaf vac that's attached to the back of the truck and has to be removed, or moved off before it dumps, and then replace our ball field renovator. We currently only have one renovator, and it's about 8 years old. Usually have a second one as backup, and so we're in the market for a new ball field renovator, and then we're talking about replacing the zero-turn mowers. I'm not sure that they will meet the threshold for a warrant article, but we're waiting on some pricing for those. So again, these are just to start the discussion. I hope in our January meeting that we have all the backup and we can have a further discussion, but I wanted to put them out there and see if there's any questions that I can answer tonight that we may need to gather further information for the complete presentation of the warrant articles.
Okay, so this is the beginning. Does anyone have any initial reaction to our fiscal year warrant articles? Commissioner Gaffney?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just, I would be interested in the details of the playground equipment at Wildmere. I know it's there today, but wondering what, we're going to add something to that or just replace the existing ones that we have? So when you have.
Yeah, it would be replacing the existing,
Like when we add a shade.
lack of a better word, shrinking the footprint that is there now. Right now, it's pretty large. There's a lot of space that we take up with playground fiber. It's not accessible. So our goal going forward is to make our playgrounds accessible. So it will be a port-in-place surface. The equipment that we've been looking at is 5 to 12. And new swing sets, things like that. So all of our parks are playgrounds in our parks and playgrounds are 20 years old. Probably 21. I think I started here in '99, so they're more than that. In the last one, the last new one was put in I think 2000, and then we did Regan 4 years ago, just before the pandemic. Port-in-place equipment when we kind of did a small renovation of the park. So that's our newest one, and now Francis Wyman has one. Wildwood was done 2010, 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So we have, the rest of them are 20-plus years old. So it's time to
doing
start.
a sunshade there on this playground?
I think that playground we didn't, and we had some.
There's trees there, so.
Yeah, we had some canopy over the top, I think, like small canopy, but
Yeah.
yes, it is one that is in the shade
Yeah.
most of the time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Nelson?
Are these in order of priority, as we see them here? Is that a priority order, or?
I didn't, they actually probably are. I would just switch the ball field renovator and the tow behind LEFAC. But the playground, the skid steer, and then the renovator would be priority. But I'll prioritize them when we have all the
Have
information.
we received any guidance from Town Hall as to what the target is for our warrant articles for this year?
No, we haven't. I do expect the budget guidelines this week.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess they're somewhere in the 3% range.
Yeah, my initial comment when I saw the list was it seems kind of conservative. And I wondered if we, I know, I couldn't find my 10-year plan.
Yep.
But I know we had a lot of things on the 10-year plan, and we've been moving them around and bumping them, and I thought we might see maybe one or two more warrant articles
So
on this list.
some of the things that could change here, if we're not successful with our request for the van at January town meeting, that would go onto this list. Generally, we see about 250,000 in capital items.
I don't know.
So we're, this is more than that, and if this group, this commission is looking to go beyond that, it would be more than happy to have those, just, have that support going forward.
I would ask through the chair, Brendan, if you could send all of us the 10-year plan, the most recent one, and maybe at our next meeting, we can talk about items each one of us might think should be moved up.
So we rushed to get the 25 on here. We had our meetings with both our, I had added it to my report. We had our meetings with our program maintenance and TR divisions, and we're compiling all that under the 10-year, but we had identified the projects that this year we knew were important, that were the most important to proceed with. So that's what this is. We're still compiling all of the other, FY 26 through 34 on there as well. So that'll give us the rest of the 10-year, and we'll get that to you.
Will that be before January? Can we get that?
I think, yeah, we can do.
Okay.
The other important piece is that there was a list, probably 10 items or so in the fiscal 25 capital plan. We've identified areas where we think we might be able to source those out under other revenue streams. So some of those things that were on the capital plan, we're identifying and saying, we're gonna do that project with this fund, we're gonna do that project with this fund. This is just what was for the warrant article itself.
Okay.
If that
I
makes
always
sense.
like to be a little more aggressive, they can always say no. But at least,
Fair.
because we've been bumping them a lot, I know.
Right.
Different ones. Whatever happened to the shield over at Wildwood?
Kelly's been working on that, so I don't want to steal her thunder.
All right.
So we actually recently purchased the sunshade itself, and should be delivered hopefully by the end of the year to be installed in the spring. We just kind of settled on where we're at and got some new pricing based on some new kind of structural amenities there.
So we have enough money to do the whole project, Kelly?
It's really close, Steve.
I know,
It's really
I know
close.
we were close.
It depends, so we'll have to go to bid for the installation, so it depends on how those bids come back. Our estimated price is a little high. We might have to look to the revolving account to subsidize that, but hopefully they'll all come in and we'll be able to pick one and stay in budget.
Good news. Like Brendan said, the wheels of government turn sometimes slowly, right?
They do, but, to Kelly's credit, she took this project on this fall, and, it was time to go back out and see what prices are, and some of the pricing has come down, and she looked at other options with vendors, canopy size and amount of supports, and going from a 6 support to a 4 support, can still span the structure and give us the height we need, and, different materials. So Kelly's been working on that for us.
It's exciting. We
Yeah.
got progress, and I know with COVID and everything that's been going on, everything's slowed down, and prices
It
have
got
gone
more
up.
expensive, yeah.
The time lapses are tremendous now. so.
Yes. It's interesting how the prices are starting to come down as we get towards a presidential election.
Yeah, no, and gas is.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Lindsay, you have anything?
I guess my only question was around the playground equipment at Wildmere. With us doing the master plan, is our playground renovations part of that master plan as well? Or
So our outdoor facility master plan will include all of our parks and playgrounds and the amenities at them. So I can almost say 100% they're going to come back and say, yes, a new playground is needed. So yes, the actual design of it may, they may come up with another recommendation.
exactly.
And we're due for their report, I think, in April.
I think so.
So it kind of matches up, but
So, okay.
we're basing the amount, the requested, or the estimated amount off of the playground we had last year that we were going to proceed with, but it didn't fit in our capital request. And we were thinking, well, I was thinking we're probably looking at, 110, 115. It came back at 180. So we do have some additional costs in there for escalating prices and, so trying to go with an accessible playground, put our best foot forward, but I'm sure that's going to come out of the outdoor facility master plan as well. So that will give us a roadmap for all of our playgrounds and stuff going forward and give us estimates based on, they will give us escalated pricing on those as well, knowing that we're not going to be able to do everything in 1 year,
Right.
5 years, so.
So, yeah, so that 190 number is the big number that we were,
Yeah,
that's what I thought, okay.
yep.
Those are big numbers, they just keep getting bigger with all these projects, but that's the state we're in
They're
right now.
small numbers to me, Dave.
That looks like a big number. Well, to you, you were on, when you were on the school
Yeah, we
committee, you had some
spent a lot of money
big
on that.
numbers on those.
That's right.
The projects, just the heating and all the stuff that goes into schools is amazing. Do we have any old business, Brenda?
I do not, we do not,
We need for an executive session.
we do not.
So, our agenda for the next meeting, what are we looking here for everyone? Look at my calendar here. So we got, so you should have, now we're getting into our budget season, so we should be wrapped, we gotta be doing at least twice a month here, going forward. If we could lock in the next two in January, if you guys want, or...
Sure.
I don't know what Jeremy's situation is, but...
So obviously, the 1st is probably out for everybody.
Right.
The 15th is the municipal holiday in observance of Martin Luther King Day, so
When's town meeting?
is the 22nd.
Why don't we look at, we could do the 8th and the 22nd, we could do a meeting right before town meeting. Hopefully, we'll be on the agenda, and so, do those dates work for everyone? The 8th and the 22nd?
Yeah, I'm fine with those.
Yep.
Okay, I will.
The 22nd, is that going to be here in this building, in that small room across from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right across from the...
That's generally what we
science
look
room.
at, that room.
Is there anything we need to vote on? We've already voted on.
No, but just, just
You might need
to
to vote
continue,
the program coordinator position.
oh, yes, the program coordinator position, if we don't have that
Okay.
settled.
Yeah.
So, yes, and then, if there's further discussion on warrant articles or anything else, or the budget, our budget, making sure that's approved and voted on. So, yes, we'll have something, and we'll probably meet at 6 o'clock, town
Yeah.
meeting. I think they moved it back to 7 now.
7:30.
Is it 7:30
I
now?
think it's 7:30.
I should know, but I don't. I'll figure all that out. I will
We'll
secure.
do a meeting for like 6:30? Because then we're waiting, because we...
We'll be at the town meeting, too.
Yeah, we're going to be at town meeting.
Yeah, so let's,
I mean,
let's,
No,
I'll
let's
plan
do
the-
6, let's do 6, because we don't know what's going to be.
Right.
We don't know what's going to be
and
on the,
I'll plan the
agenda.
January 8th, make sure I secure this room for that.
Okay.
And then secure the 22nd up in that room, and then we'll keep the time 6 o'clock. But
Yeah.
if on the 8th, we say, oh, we won't have a lot of business, we can, adjust our agenda in our meeting posting.
Okay.
Do we have to vote on the grant submittal?
They're required.
Sometimes they want to, minutes of the meeting and things of that nature
I
from the
don't
grant.
believe so. I haven't read anything that
Okay.
says that we need a vote here. We will need a town meeting vote eventually, so there will be
Yeah.
a sample town meeting vote within the grant itself. But approval at a May town meeting would be fine for that timeline, so
Good.
that's my
All right,
knowledge.
just checking.
So 6 o'clock, January 8th, and 6 o'clock, January 22nd.
Correct.
All right, excellent. I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Commissioner Carlson, Commissioner Gaffney. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 400. This meeting is adjourned.